He had confidence. He had guts. He was excited. And I stood in line at the end of that meeting so I could meet him. And when I got up and had my opportunity, this is 1994, there were no camera phones. You know, you had a Polaroid maybe, or one of those Instamatics, or a real camera. And I stood in line. When I got up there, I started throwing up on him with full-on excuses. Stuff coming out of me that was not true. Just why? Oh, why I hadn't started. Oh, I hadn't started because of this. Oh, you know, this came up. And I'm just here. You know, I just blew into town today and just hanging out. Thought I'd come over and see you. You're a great speaker. He took a step back, and I'm not kidding. He put his hand on his hips and looked me dead in the eye, and he said, you know what? You're just too prissy for this. Ouch. But he was right. Now, what did he mean by that in the South? You know what that means? You think you're too good. You think you're too good for this. Oh yeah, you're a teacher. You got a college education. You're too good for this. You're too good to ask your mom if she wants to be your customer. You're too good to ask your neighbor. As a matter of fact, my neighbor was at that first meeting and he didn't ask me. Because he didn't think I would be interested. Can you imagine how shocked he was when I showed up? So that night, I drove home and I shed tears all night. I mean, buckets. And I thought about my kids. I thought about my husband asking me to help the family. I thought about my kids and the opportunities that I wanted to give them. And here I am, paralyzed in fear because I'm afraid of what people will think. And they're not paying my bills. They're not thinking about me. They don't go to bed, oh look. They didn't even know. They didn't even know. So that morning, when I got up, I put on the biggest pair, the most absorbent white cotton panties that I could find. And I put them on, my big girl panties, and I got to work. I started calling my friends at 6:30 in the morning, 7 o'clock. I said, I've got an opportunity and you're going to look at it. That's what I said. You're going to look at it. You're going to look at it. Why? You're my friend. I'm going to buy you a cup of coffee and you're going to look at it. And you're going to decide if you want to be a customer or a distributor. And you have no third choice. Yes, no third choice. Mom, I went over to see my mom and I'm sitting down with my mom. Mom, I need you to be my customer. It's not going to be painful. Nothing's going to change for you. She didn't want to do it, but she did it. My mother-in-law, oh my gosh, talk about heart palpitating. I went over and sat down with Nancy. Nancy was not easy, but Nancy loved her grandchildren. So Nancy became my customer. Yes, she did. She was a tough cookie too when she came. Kind of had one foot out the door when I was asking Nancy. But guess what? Over time, my friends joined. Over time. And at the end of that year, that was March 1995 when I put the big girl panties on. You know, Superman has his cape. So I suggest you get your panties. Yes, I do. And you put them on. Nobody will see them. Guys, you can wear them too. Yes, you can. And at the end of that year, I was at a 5-figure monthly income. Yes, 5-figure monthly income. Yeah, you can clap for that. Had anything changed with the opportunity? They didn't offer a go bonus. They didn't offer a go fast bonus. They didn't offer anything different. The difference was I got up and took action. Did I have 100% success? No, not by any means. Did I get rejected? Yes. Guess what happened to my neighbor Larry, who didn't ask me if I wanted to go to that opportunity meeting? He ended up losing out on about 10 grand a month from what I did in that company. He actually moved out of town. He couldn't stand to see us every day. How many neighbors do you think will be asked to be in It Works? How about friends? Who's already lost some friends and family because they didn't have the balls to go ask them, or the white panties? We've just got to ask. That's it. And posting's not asking. You're going to learn that today. I mean, you got to be bold and you got to ask. Hey, I've got an opportunity. I don't know if you're going to be interested in it or not, but you're going to sit down with me. You're my friend. I love you. I care about you. Your family might need this. It might not, but that's my job. I'm going to wrap you and we're going to go through the party pad. And then we can decide. But give them what they deserve, which is the opportunity to hear it. Isn't that what they deserve? Yes. That is what they deserve, the opportunity to hear it. I gave that company 6.5 great years. I loved it. I had a ball. I didn't know how far I could possibly go. The personal development, that I didn't even know there was personal development out there. But that's encouraging to us, to read the right books, to listen to the right tapes. My car was like an arsenal of tapes, listening to successful people that had achieved the impossible. That's what I fed my mind with. 6.5 years later, that company was going to fold. The owner sold out to a corporation and they were going to take it out of that industry. The writing was on the wall. People were leaving. I knew that it was no longer a viable opportunity. I knew if I sat across the kitchen table from you, it would be a bold-faced lie if I said you had the same opportunity as me. I could no longer market for that company. And I'm a very, very loyal person. And you know, a lot of us, especially women, we stay in relationships too long. We stay with businesses too long. And it's usually to our detriment. Now, I don't want you to go home and separate from your spouse and say, I'm talking to this woman on stage, I was listening to her. That's not what I'm talking about. I went to Dave and I said, honey, I'm going to shut this down. He was shocked. I mean, Dave was with his company almost 30 years before he left. That's just who we are. We're that type of person. That's how we were raised. And when I told my team, they were devastated. But I told them, I said, it's going to fold. I can feel it. It's been sold. The legs are no longer there. I told Dave I was going to take a couple months. This is November. Hey, it's almost Thanksgiving, Christmas. You know, in January, we'll figure it out. Maybe I'll go back and work for IBM again. I don't know. Maybe I'll try my teaching degree. Maybe I'll look at another company. I don't know. But I'm just going to relax, chill out. It was so excited for me to do that. You know, I made a lot of friends in that company. Have you made friends with It Works? Have you made friends for life? Are they there before your other friends when you're in need? Yes. Are they like family today? I mean, there's crazy stories out of what our leadership has done for each other that you can't get your friend from high school to do for you, that you've known 20 years. I had made friends with that company too, great friends. And 2 days after closing my business down, there was a gentleman that we used to train each other's teams. He lived about an hour away from me, so if I had people near him, he'd train them with his team. I would train his people. We would compete with each other to the next level. It was awesome. He was such a great guy. And there was a big college university, and it was a church-based. He was getting ready to go to Israel on a project for them. He had signed up to do that. He was going to be gone out of the country for 18 months. While he was in the warehouse gathering materials to take with him, he overheard about a conversation from a team of doctors and scientists in the heart of Mexico City that had developed a product Now this, I want you to think, this is the year 2000. They had a formula for 12 years. The year 2000, 12 years, that they sold to high-end med spas and salons. And this formula would be deep tissue massaged into the skin at upwards of $300 a treatment. And this formula would tone, tighten, and firm the skin in 45 minutes. They went back into their laboratory, they developed a cloth delivery system. And the cloth delivery system allowed an in-home use of this formula. And they thought, where can we take it? Where do we want to take this formula that we put on this cloth that tones, tightens, and firms the skin as little as 45 minutes? And they thought, well, let's go right across the border into one of the most vain countries in the world, a country that loves instant gratification without changing lifestyle. And do you know that we have found out since that it's not just the U.S., but it's France? We just got another ambassador diamond in the country, in France. Isn't that cool? Just promoted, you're going to hear from her. No, I don't speak French. We'll have a translator, but you're going to love her story. Norway, new presidential diamond in Norway. Australians love it. New Zealand, Canada, Italy. You want to build a global business? Absolutely. This product goes everywhere. But here's a team of doctors and scientists that want to bring it into the U.S. So they called, one of the doctors was also, like Dr. Don. Dr. Don is an ordained minister, as well as an MD. This doctor was like that. And through the Hispanic ministry, they called, he overheard the conversation, the guy gets off the phone, he said, tell me a little bit about that. And he said, hey, do you know anybody by chance? He goes, yeah, I do. As a matter of fact, I do. And he calls me. He calls me and says, Pam, there's a team of doctors and scientists in the heart of Mexico City that have this formula. They want to bring it into the U.S. It tones and tightens and firms and lifts the body in 45 minutes. And he's all jazzed and excited about it. And I'm thinking, no, nothing like that will work. You must be crazy. I said, are you kidding me? And he went on. He said, well, I talked to the guy a little bit. And I'm like, I don't believe a word of this. We would have already heard about this. And then I thought, I want it. Are you kidding? I'm thinking, tones tight. I want it. I don't believe it, but I want it. Did anyone else think that? I don't believe those pictures, but I'll try it. I mean, that's what I was thinking. And I'm like, can you get me on the phone with him? He said, well, I'll try. Let me see what I can work out. A couple hours later, the phone rings. He's on the line with Luis Maharis. Y'all know Luis, right? Hey, Luis was here 3 years ago in Seattle. It was one of the best boot camps we ever had. Luis speaks great English compared to the year 2000. And here I am from the South, and one of the other lead doctors was on the phone as well. He spoke zero English. He was there for support. And here I am listening to these passionate men go back and forth, explaining to me what they had their hands on. That the formula had been out 12 years. That they wanted to bring it into the United States. They wanted people to be able to use it in their home. Would I be interested in possibly taking a look at it? And they go on, and they explain a little bit more to me, and then at the end of that conversation, they say, "What, do you have any questions?" And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm frozen. It's like frozen in time. I'm thinking, I gotta sound intelligent. Here they want me to take a look at this product, and I'm thinking, what? Well, they answered a lot of questions, but all right, I have one. I said, what's in it? That's a good question. And once they had talked about that, and so I said, well, what's in it? And Louise says, herbals. Hairballs? Hairballs. Well, that's organic, but I don't want a product